farewell message as he was leaving the White House, something about his mother. So I have one happiness about the occasion is that his mother was not alive to see what her son was undergoing. She was a wonderful. We lived near to them, and my mother was often ill. And Hannah Milhouse was a second mother to me. I understand that Richard said she was a saint. Well, I think she was just a human being. I think it's harder to be a good human being than it is to be a saint. If you're a saint, I have a feeling that some sort of unusual halo and blessing has been bestowed upon you. Hannah was a good human being.
You know, Quakers are known to be good human beings, and you have lived a Quaker life. And the former president has professed to be deeply religious as a Quaker. How can you reconcile what he has allegedly done with his faith?
I wouldn't try if I were you. I don't know. I wouldn't try to do that. You cannot without stepping inside someone's, and that's what a writer, of course, tries to do, to become that person, to see how he is feeling in his heart and in his guts. But I do not know.
Miss West, we understand that you have an exciting new novel coming out about a community that's very close to Muncie.
Yes, I think it is exciting. It excited me when I first read about the happening 20 or 25 years ago. It is the first hanging of any white man for the killing of Indians, and it took place in Pendleton, Indiana.
You've done extensive research on the book?
Extensive research could not be done because the courthouse with the records burned down, and there were reminiscences written 30 or 40 years after the event by the young assistant prosecuting attorney, and he wrote what he remembered. I wrote to the Indianapolis Library, and they said most of what they had was based upon what this prosecuting attorney, who was a Mr. Smith, wrote, which I already knew. So I was free to do what I wanted to do, which was to write fiction, keeping to the facts that were known. But since no one knew anything about the Indians or knew anything about the life and loves of the white people involved, I can make it up, and that's what I like to do.
At what period in Indiana history did this occur? 1824.
And you know, I shouldn't be talking about another writer. I should just talk about myself. But Kurt Vonnegut, who is a very popular writer now. I was teaching at Whittier College at the end of last fall for a while, and the student saw the manuscript, which was just going off to Harcourt Brace, in my room, and he saw the word Pendleton. And he said, "Do you know what Kurt Vonnegut said about that, about Pendleton?" And I said, "No." And Kurt Vonnegut has people living on planets, and some of them belong there, some of them have gotten there by God knows what means. But a man of this planet was asked by a man of another planet, if you could go back to Earth, where would you go? And he said, I would go back to Pendleton, Indiana. And the man on the planet said, why? And he said, because justice was done there.
During your visit to Ball State, have you had an opportunity to visit the site of this incident?
I got here last night just in time to take a nap, and after I took the nap, I went downstairs and had a lovely time with people who are at the Writers' Conference. So I haven't been anyplace but my room. I said downstairs, it's someplace else. It's not downstairs. It's another building where the meeting was held.
We would like to ask you some political questions. Being a cousin of former President Richard Nixon on the Milhouse side, we would like your reaction to the events of last week.
My reaction would have been the same, I think. I'm a Democrat and have been a Democrat all of my life. But my reaction, I think, would have been more or less the same, no matter who was the man who had become involved in such a, I don't know what to call what he was involved in. I was personally deeply surprised. I did not, since I was, voted for another man. Yes, I was disappointed that this would happen to any man whatsoever, any man in the presidency. I don't know, except for my knowledge of his mother and his father and his brothers, that I felt that my feeling was any deeper than it would have been if you had been president and these things had happened to you.
This was a man, a human being. This is the way you felt.
That is the way I felt. With I suppose, it's very hard. You cannot separate these things. I don't know the degree to which I felt more, because it was Hannah's son to whom all this was happening.
I'd like to get back to your book for just a moment. A final
That's
question.
That's a fine thing to get back to.
It is coming out this fall.
I don't know when it was coming out this fall, but it has been taken by 2 book clubs, by the Literary Guild and by the Reader's Digest Condensed Book Club, and my publishers, who were going to bring it out this fall, will certainly bring it out when the book clubs, because enough money is involved for them and for me, that they are not going to say, heck, we're going to bring it out this fall and we don't care about you. And I understand that Mr. Michener, who has a book coming up in the Literary Guild, also has a massacre. Not this massacre, it's not centered around a massacre, but has a massacre in his book. And the Literary Guild feels that they don't want to, give their subscribers a monthly diet of massacres. So I don't know just when exactly it will come out.
The topic sounds as though it would make an excellent movie.
I think it would. I hope some movie maker feels that too. I think it would, because there is a part of it, and not added or put onto it, a drama, a sense of responsibility, and there is violence too, in the killing of those absolutely harmless Indians who were doing nothing but going to the place where they boiled down sugar sap, that they had done this for maple sugar, that they had done this for centuries, and some of the hotheads of the Americans who had moved into that territory felt that the Indians were getting a bit too close to them. They were getting close to the maple sugar trees, is what they were getting close to. So they swooped down upon them and killed them, men, women, and children. So I hope you get to see it. Why don't you write the movie makers and say that?
Well, we certainly hope it's made into a movie. Thank you very much, Ms. West.